welcome to our first film show of 2024. I'm joined, of course, by our film critic, Lisa Nesselson. Lisa, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you, too.
Now, award season has officially begun. It kicked off with the 81st Annual Golden Globe Awards on Sunday night. Leaving behind a year of Hollywood strikes, stars were out in force on the red carpet. Margot Robbie wore Barbie pink. Taylor Swift also donned sequins, while Timothée Chalamet showed a little bit of chest, and Pedro Pascal appeared to be recovering from an arm injury. Now, the Golden Globes are voted on by the relatively small group of voters formerly known as the Hollywood Foreign Press Association. They're seen as a bellwether for the Oscars. French courtroom drama Anatomy of a Fall, directed by France's Justine Triet, won 2 Golden Globes, Best Screenplay and Best Non-English Language Film. Lisa, does that mean that she's going to get some Oscar nominations?
Well, Anatomy of a Fall, a sober look at how a self-possessed woman reacts to a death that may be suicide or maybe a murder, certainly seems to be building momentum, as they say. After this film won the highest honor in Cannes, the Golden Palm, there was general surprise that it was not chosen to represent France in the International Feature Film category at the Oscars.
Well, Anatomy of a Fall stars Sandra Hüller as a woman suspected of her husband's murder. Let's take a look and hear from director Justine Triet.
Est-ce que vous pouvez nous dire à quoi il fait référence quand il parle du pillage de son œuvre?
That's not true.
Vous aviez déjà frappé votre mari?
Non.
Non, jamais. C'est bien ce qui s'est passé.
You're violent!
T'as pas pu les entendre s'ils parlaient calmement.
J'ai confondu.
T'as confondu.
I'm innocent, you know that, right?
It's a bit unreal. I didn't expect it, especially when I heard the names next to me, like Scorsese, well, all the names that were announced in the different categories. So I'm very moved and very surprised. I wasn't expecting 2 awards like that in a row, so I'm extremely touched by all this.
Well, Anatomy of a Fall is expected to get some Oscar nods. It has gotten some negative publicity, though, in that the actor who plays the husband, Samuel Tace, has been accused of rape during production of another film. He does deny the accusation. Lisa, going back to the Golden Globes, who else won?
Well, the Golden Globes separate their Best Picture awards into 2 categories, one for serious drama and the other for musicals or comedies. Oppenheimer won Best Film in the drama category. Christopher Nolan as director, Cillian Murphy as the title character, Robert Downey Jr. as supporting actor, and also Best Musical Score. Best Female Actor in a Drama went to Lily Gladstone for her incredibly good performance as Molly in Martin Scorsese's Killers of the Flower Moon. She more than held her own opposite Leonardo DiCaprio in a film with Robert De Niro. Now, she is of Native American heritage, and that's wonderful, but not as wonderful as her talent. She began her acceptance speech with a few sentences in the Blackfoot language and shared the fact that Indian characters used to speak their lines in English, and then the sound guy would run it backwards, and that was supposed to approximate Indian tugs.
My gosh, it's hard to imagine that sounding anything other than ridiculous. Let's take a look at Lily Gladstone in Killers of the Flower Moon.
Niu Kanska. Children of the Middle Waters. Move, said the great white father. There are many, so many hungry wolves. Can you find the wolves in this picture?
Now, Lisa, some might say that the movie that most defined 2023 was Barbie. Why don't you think it won more awards?
Well, the smart aleck answer is that evidently more people voted for other films and other performances, but I think voters may have considered that the film's financial success, $1.4 billion if you're counting, was reward enough. Barbie did win Best Song for Billie Eilish and the new confusingly vague category for cinematic and box office achievement. And Margot Robbie, who plays Barbie, thanked every single person who dressed up to go to what she called the greatest place on earth, a movie theater.
I think it is safe to say that 2023 was a good year for movies. 2024, though, has now begun. Hundreds of films coming out this year. What are you most looking forward to?
Well, I'm looking forward to the imminent French release of Yorgos Lanthimos' Poor Things, so I can send all my friends to see it. It just won the Golden Globe for motion picture in the musical or comedy category. That means it beat Barbie. Let's take a taste of Poor Things.
Tell me, where did she come from?
I shall. For it is a happy tale.
I am Bella Baxter, and there is a world to enjoy, circumnavigate. It is the goal of all to progress, grow.
A woman plotting her course to freedom. How delightful.
It's a tour de force of humor, emotion, and as you can see, design. So creative, so bold, so interesting. Emma Stone is superb as the resuscitated daughter of Willem Dafoe's Dr. Frankenstein-style inventor, and we follow her as she gets a wacky, wide-ranging education about what it means to be a woman in the world. Stone is astonishingly game as a blank slate who grows and changes through her encounters with life and with men, particularly a wealthy fellow played by Mark Ruffalo, who, like Stone, simply could not be better at putting across this often outrageous material. Stone won the Golden Globe for Female Actor, Comedy or Musical. It's thought-provoking and funny and rather sexy.
I am definitely excited for that one as well. Lisa, what about an upcoming French language film?
Well, for the record, there were 108 films directed by women released in France last year out of a total of 320. So that's 1/3, the highest ratio on Earth. I'm very curious about the forthcoming film by French director Anne Fontaine, who is one of the most prolific and interesting directors who rarely gets spoken about, despite her very impressive track record. This is her 19th movie. Bolero is reported to depict the circumstances under which French composer Maurice Ravel wrote the well-known title ditty. But for now, it's mostly under wraps. In March, Anne Fontaine will show us something quite swell, a biopic based on Maurice Ravel and his famed Bolero. Her many films includes one based on Chanel. Is this any good? It's too soon to tell, but the topic does bode well, so some tickets might just sell.
Lisa, I have to say, you sell it very well through that song. Tell us about a movie now that we're not going to have to wait for. Martin Provost's new film, Bonnard, Pierre, and Marthe, is out this week in France, and it's slated to be released in many other countries.
I enjoyed this fact-inspired intertwining of art and romance thoroughly. In a modest Paris studio in 1893, Pierre Bonnard, played by Vincent Macaigne, is sketching the woman seated behind him. His model, picked up on the street and whose name neither he nor we discover until after they've spontaneously given into a mighty carnal attraction, is Marthe, played by Cécile de France. Pierre studied law, but along with his friends, whose names are all known to us still, he intends to, quote, revolutionize modern painting.
All right, let's take a look at the artistic couple in Bonnard, Pierre, and Marthe.
Tu m'en veux?
Oui.
Tu m'en veux vraiment?
Oui.
Tu m'aimes plus alors?
Non. Enfin, ça dépend.
Ça dépend de quoi?
De comment tu m'aimes, toi.
Writer-director Martin Provost, whose 2008 account of quirky outsider artist Seraphine won Best Film and 6 other top awards at the Césars, has shown a career-long knack for portraying the inner lives of women. We know that Bonnard will sell his daring pictures, but he doesn't yet. Of the 2,000 or so pictures Bonnard painted, 1/3, we're told, depict Marthe. And Marthe, who turns out to be a startlingly original painter in her own right, wonders aloud, Why do women always pose naked, but not men?
A very good
Very
question.
good question.
All right, Lisa, we're going to end with another movie out in France. This is the animated film Robot Dreams. It's by Spanish director Pablo Berger, who already made a splash with his 2012 take on Snow White, Blanca Nieves.
This is a truly, truly wonderful film that I hope our viewers all over the world will seek out. It's based on a graphic novel and tells a wordless story set in 1980s Manhattan. The main protagonist, a dog called Dog, leads a lonely existence in a nice apartment in a city where the population is made up of animals who walk upright. When Dog sees a TV commercial for a build-it-yourself robot kit, he orders one and finds himself with a nearly instant best friend. When Dog and Robot are separated by an unforeseen development, the ensuing months are filled with bittersweet and melancholy adventures leavened by humor.
And did you say it's a silent film?
That's to say there is no spoken dialogue, but there are sound effects galore and a wonderful, wonderful musical score. Blanca-Nieves was also silent, so I left the theater on a cloud.
All right, Lisa, well, we'll leave today's show on a cloud with a look at Robot Dreams. Thank you so much, as always. Thanks to all of you for watching. There's news coming up on France 24 right after this.
Versailles, Mont-Saint-Michel, the Louvre are well-known stars of French heritage. But French genius and France harbors many other hidden treasures. The arts, gastronomy, architecture, as well as nature's wonders. Come along with France 24, discover France's living heritage. From young apprentices to accomplished craftsmen and farmers, to Michelin star sporting chefs, meet these people whose passion for their professions preserve and drive French heritage.
You are here on France 24 and France24.com.